describe pod. Also, at the end of describe pod, there's events. That's why describe is very useful. And then there's cluster level logs. In cluster level logs, I think it talks about the kube audit logs. Let me see if what's the section that talks about kube audit logs in here.
By the way, there is a subcommand now, kubectl events directly. No need to get the get.
Yes, and it's richer. So that's something that you should be able to use on the exam because it's a new version. It's using a new version of Kubernetes, right?
28, which is the same as the exam, I think.
Oh, great. So yeah, for the longest time, kubectl get events. It didn't sort, didn't put things in the right way, right? Asif, I don't know if you can talk about the benefits of using. Now you
Yeah,
can skip the get.
yeah, directly now it's a subcommand. It's like a get, it's events, and now it's organized because the get before you get events 10 minutes ago, then you get 12 seconds ago, and there is no way to sort them by time because it's not a field. Either you need to go with AWK, AUK, or some specific scripting. Now with the events, it has like a custom command which you can filter by templating also, which is really nice. And it's used in the exam because it was introduced in 128 client and server sites. So yeah, and it's in the exam,
Yeah,
so you can use it.
yeah, yeah. It talks here also about the describe nodes. That's a command that I use all the time. Well, when I'm working with Kubernetes, right? That people may not be aware. When you describe nodes, it has all this rich information in there about which pods are sitting in the. I don't know if I can show this bigger or not. It shows which pods are there, what are the requests and limits for the pods. It does the summarize the resources, requests and limits, and at the top it shows you the capacity and then the of the node, and then how much you can allocate to pods. That's a different thing. Um, I don't know. Mélony was here. Did Mélony stop? Mélony, do you know where are you discuss the audit log? I think Mélony has problem with her mic.
It's like she has two mics on.
Mélony, you have
Mélony, we
some background noise
cannot
coming
hear
out.
you. I think you have like a mic problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes a weird sound with something else. I think you need to check.
Could be the sound setup. Yeah, very machine sound.
Yeah.
It's a
but
feedback
standard.
loop. She's got two microphones going on.
Yeah, it could be. So the typical command for logs, just discuss a little bit here about logging. I was looking for if there was a section about audit logs, because for audit logs, I remember, well, in the CKA exam, there might be, right? I'm saying there might be questions around like configuring the audit YAML to certain way to capture certain events of filtering. So you have to know like the aspects of the audit logs for Kubernetes. For the containers, you can do kubectl logs. There's no get logs. I don't know why. Everything's get. I always put the get logs for some reason, and maybe I'm the only person that put kubectl get logs and it doesn't work, and then I put kubectl logs and it works. One thing that you can also do is dash previous. Anyone knows what dash previous does?
No.
So kubectl logs previous is what happens if you have a container and it dies, and then it comes up. How do you see the logs from the previous run?
Oh.
And not the logs for the one that are active now, right? If you want to troubleshoot.
That's if it restarted, I think.
Yeah, if they restarted for some reason, you want to know why, right? You can grab that. That's kind of like kubectl logs, like on the fly, but as a best practice, right? Most people don't worry about that because you have you have a log collector, right? A daemon set on the node like Fluent Bits or the OTel collector, Open Telemetry collector, that does logs. I think logs are GA Open Telemetry collector now, collecting logs or whatever is your collector logging thing. Those logs are sitting there in the folder by the container D that collect the logs, and then you get them. But if you want a quick way with kubectl, then you should be able to get it there. And that's also some knowledge that you need to know of getting those logs, because what happens if you need to troubleshoot something and the API server is down, right? And you want to get to the logs, you need to know where those logs are located in the host. So I was looking for that kube audit because it's very useful and something to practice. Let me see if it's here. But anyway,
This is if you can see it on the Kubernetes documentation also.
yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, this is what I was referring to, right? So if it's very important to know this as an admin and also for the CKA on the structure of this YAML file, to know that this is a filtering, right? And then at the end, you have your catch all rule. Like, what are the things that you want to capture? How much information you want to capture? The level information that you want to capture, right? If it's metadata, if it's the requests coming in, or you want to capture the response coming out, you should be able to, there should be a request response, right? You want to get the response back from the Kube API server, and something for production, right? You have to watch out of like how much logging do you do, because sometimes that costs money, and then there's a bill, and then there's a lot of logging, and people complain, and then I tell them like you can need to adjust it, or rotate your logs, or store them in some other place that is cheaper. Sometimes you don't have access to change states depending who's running your Kubernetes cluster, right? But if you're running your own, you should be able to know this. And the CKA exam, at least in the past, all the courses cover how to do this and how to configure it. And also the how to configure in the Kube API server YAML file. How do you configure that in terms of like mounting a directory that is on the host? So that's why the you mount the configuration, but also you mount the logs, which is this one, I think. Host path. Yeah. Thank you, Saif. So with that, yeah, the book is very good. Mélony, I think, is checking if the other distribution, the YAML is fixed, but other than that, it's a very extensive book, right? It has 10 chapters, and then the appendix has a bunch of scenarios. So it's a good guide to study for the exam. It covers the networking part. We already discussed it. We discussed security, storage, knowing about volumes and PVCs. So maybe we can do some exercises around volumes today.
Mélony, you were here last week. My comment was the title of the book is Exam Guide. This is a tutorial guide for learning Kubernetes.
Yeah.
This is.
Yeah, I think Mélony, you're still having problems with the mic, so maybe you need to restart the browser or log off and logging back in. Might be a tip. But yeah, I think, or you can type. I think he's put it here. And Mélony put some tips in the chat. I wasn't looking. So yeah, you can use the since. We'll show some of the commands. For logging, you can use previous. You can use since, like since an hour ago. One that I really like is what happens when your container or app, it puts output, but it doesn't have the timestamp. How do you know how much time from one log line to another one? Anyone knows? Anyone? So you use dash dash timestamp. And then it from the perspective of like the log lines right coming out, they will be there. But as best practice, right, I personally think that um it the logs, right, could have the timestamps already in UTC. That's just me, but people have their own opinions, because then that's more data that you have to store, that you have to, because every byte costs money, right, to transfer and to store. So it depends. That's the answer from any platform engineer or consultant. It depends. So let's jump into, yeah, Mélony put a message in the chat saying thank you to everyone. Thank you, Mélony. I'm just saying that because sometimes in the recording, we do the recording, the chat doesn't show up what's happening in the chat. So yeah, I'm Killer Coda. Killer Coda has I think in 1 hour. So I haven't not used it today. So I still have my hour today. We'll do chats, exercises like last time. How much time we have? We have a few minutes. We did a couple last week. Is there's any here for volume? We talk about storage. Oh, let's do this one. How about want to do storage? Get familiar with storage? Give me thumbs up if you want to do storage.
Whatever you want to do. I like storage. I like debugging.
Yeah, let's do storage,
What
and
do
then
we
let's see
have?
where we
Yeah.
go from there.
Yeah.
Let's do storage. I have not used storage in a while. Or debug problems. Usually when I do things is to help folks or debug something, create something new. So let's see if Killer Coda is not overwhelmed today. Still thinking. Is it working for all the folks? Or is it down? We restart.
It's usually, yeah, the problem I have. The queue.
Ah, really? I thought if I didn't use it, it would give me this. Does it come back fast?
No, last time it took me an hour. The session was finished and I was still waiting in the queue.
Oh, I was
for
last
my
time I was using it. I haven't
for my
used it.
account, but I think you paid at some point, but now it's.
Let me see. Last time it worked fine. There we go. Oh, okay, but now let's test again the volume one. Oh, last time it worked. Let me see if I pick one of the keys. Does he have storage here? Host path. Infinity network. There's no volume here. No. Let's see this one. Or it doesn't matter which one I select, you think? There you go. Storage class. Is it working for somebody else? It works for Victor.
Works for me also.
Okay. So maybe I should use kind, but I don't have an exercise.
Or you should
Yeah.
just log out and log in. That happens sometimes, quite a few times.
Oh, log out.
Yeah, and try login again.
Oh, okay. Let me see. I were the
No,
other day.
I'm stuck in the queue for some reason. Even though I log out, log in.
Uh-huh.
Interesting.
Do you, maybe you have another session of Killer Code open, or no?
No. I close all my things. Okay. Well,
Okay,
let's.
now, does anyone want to do it? We'll
Yeah,
just
you can
all
share your
just,
screen.
yeah, we'll just mob. It's not like you have to do it on your own. We'll just tell you the code and
Anyone wants to share
also
their
they
screen,
have
if they
tips
it
on
up?
the side anyway.
Yeah, it's following along. It says follow along
I can do it if you want.
exercise.
Well done,
It's working for
Said.
you, Saif?
I can, yes, if you want to.
Okay, go ahead.
Yay.
Okay.
Let me stop sharing.
I was not ready to share my screen, so
Just
Your
clean up
your browser.
Netflix and yeah.
let me clean up my work.
You can just share a
Online
tab.
shopping.
You don't even have to share your window. Just a tab, browser tab.
Okay. I don't know if it works, but yeah, sure. Share screen, share. Okay. I can one tab. All right. Good.
Yeah, one tab.
Okay.
Okay.
Brilliant.
I'm
Which one
sorry.
you picked?
I'm the wrong one, but because I just wanted to test if it works.
Okay. Click on areas.
It's just plain Ubuntu
Yeah.
saying.
CKA.
Okay. Play, yeah, yeah, CKA, yeah, that. Sorry, I'm talking over you.
And I should go to persistent volumes.
Yep.
Oh wow.
That was quick. Really.
You're lucky one.
Nice.
Got in.
Let's start it.
Yes.
So create a PV, name it PV volume that has the following specification: a delete policy, storage class, the storage class, and the claim references a claim name in this one in the default namespace, and it uses host path volume type. Okay, that's a lot of data which I need to open the documentation.
No, the solution is at the bottom.
Should we see the solution? I didn't know that.
You can try the dry run.
Do we have a PV already?
Yeah.
Okay, nothing. So we need to create a PV before, right?
Reference a claim name reference. Let me see.
Exactly. So we create a PV.
you create a PV first, then
okay. Yeah. Create a PV. It says create a persistent volume, name PV claim with these specifications, and then references a claim name PV claim in the default namespace. That's instructions are not very clear because the PV would never reference the claim.
Yeah, it's
right?
a little weird. But
I got confused there. But you should be able to create a PV, create PV.
Maybe I don't need the name.
The name I think is after PV.
So it should be it shouldn't be ordered, by the way.
Oh, that's true.
You see, there shouldn't be order. Unexpected PV name kubectl. Because maybe you don't have create. No, you do create PV. You can.
Yeah, do create PV-H. Is there a create PV?
I'm pulling up
I don't
the cheat
think
sheet,
so.
There is.
Which is easier with.
I see an example here. No, there's no create PV.
Yes.
Yeah.
There is.
It gave you the
role, those ones.
You
so you have to go
So PV you have to create it by hand.
Yes, I think so.
And then in exam you will use the Kubernetes documentation, right?
Okay. I will just
or just look at the solution. Let's look at the solution and then we'll go over.
Yeah,
I can just copy it, then we can hide
Look what is in there. Yeah.
So the name makes sense. This one also a field, and this one also a field. But this one I have never heard of it. Like it will automatically create a
Oh,
PVC?
I see. I see. So yeah, so I always use storage like automatically provisioning, like you create the claim, and then the controller will create you the PV, and then the controller will put this section in there, like now it's claimed by claim
Yeah.
ref, so no one else can use the PV. So this is interesting. This is interesting that you can put the right away. This is the claim that I'm going to use it, but let's do it without
So the PV claim, when it will be
exists.
created, it will automatically be linked to this PV. Is that correct?
I think it already has that information. Yeah, okay,
Because there
good.
is no is there a PVC already?
Yeah, there's a PVC. I don't
No,
think
there is
so.
not. No, there is not.
No.
I think when we create this file,
It is, I think, I'm now looking at the documentation, it is to, well, it's normally what's happened, but it says if you want a PVC to bind to a specific PV, you need to pre-bind
exactly.
them.
So now
Yeah.
next, when you create this one, it will automatically be binded to this one.
Yeah, like for a specific PV, if you want
It's like
PVC to just
it's like
Yeah, go ahead
putting
and
emoji.
create it
bound.
to see what
Can you
happens.
check? Can you check if there is PV?
No, there is nothing.
No, it
There's no
also,
PVC.
yeah, it also,
Yeah.
if it says create this, you trust the exam guys, by the way, just don't question, but you can check if you
Yeah,
did
let's
it.
create it. I'm
No, we
curious
can
to
do it.
see if the state what will happen.
Amazing.
Yeah,
Good
check
work.
again.
So we
Wow.
only have the PV, and
The
probably
PV.
next it will ask us to create this one.
Maybe later, maybe this is done.
Yes, it
Yeah.
does.
Okay.
And then if you don't specify, it will automatically be binded to this one. Let's see.
If it would automatically be binded if it meets the requirements, right? If the PVC is asking for
Yes,
the
which is
storage
Yeah.
mode,
Yeah,
the storage class.
it should have the same storage class and access modes.
Yeah.
And
The
So
size,
yeah,
right?
it's basically to reserve this PV.
Yeah, that'll be the use case. What Sevi said. It's like I'm going to create a PV. I don't want anyone else to claim it.
Yeah, so that others can't bind to it.
Yeah,
okay,
I
let me
see.
just take the
Interesting.
yeah.
I learned
I
something new
didn't
today.
use this as
That
well.
usually this is not my
Also-
workflow.
Also, you don't usually just, well, I mean, for some specific use cases, you want some specific PVs to be applied to specific, workloads. So maybe that's how.
Yeah, this is very
make sure.
surgical. Usually at scale, right? You have hundreds of PV and PVCs. You want everything to be created on demand. You create the PVC that gets created maybe by a pod template, and then the PV gets automatically created from whatever it needs to be created by the
now
controller.
we got automatically the PVC.
Hey guys,
bound.
it's my first time in this meeting. Is it okay if I, like, when we have questions, do we type in the chat or do we raise our hands, or we just open it?
both. Go ahead. You have a
I'd
question?
love to hear from you.
Yes, I have a question actually. So why does the status appears as available if there's no PVC?
Status bound. It's bound.
Before you
No,
created
before
the
you
PVC,
went
it was
available.
Does that mean that you would be able to use the PV even though there is no PVC, or that's not possible?
Good question.
Available to be claimed.
Let me delete
because
the
it already has a
PVC.
claim. That was our confusion. That's our dilemma.
I see.
Because usually we don't use I don't use storage like this, right?
So now
But if the claim is
failed.
not there, you just actually
Oh.
did not claim it. I mean, you just reserved it, but PVC is not there yet.
Yeah, it
So
could
delete
be.
it and you get into
the
fail.
documentation says for the available state, it says a free resource that is not yet bound to a claim. It's just not bound. That's it.
I see.
Interesting. Yeah,
It's weird that it
it's
says
weird.
failed,
It's
no?
yeah.
If I could
You already
interject,
put the
Victor,
claim ref.
welcome. Welcome.
Sorry?
Is this your first time here? Welcome.
Oh, yes, thank you.
Hello,
Welcome,
good to
welcome.
see you, by the way.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Oh, I have to drop, guys. Need to take my kid to football practice. Now I'm a
super.
soccer mom.
See you, Fabby. Take care. Have a great weekend.
Okay.
Good
See
weekend.
you. Good weekend, everybody. Okay, I don't close anything, right, when I leave? I hope so.
Yep.
Okay.
But Victor, yeah, thank you for your question. One thing that we can do here, maybe you can do it later, is we can create a PVC with can a PVC point to a PV? No, right?
Yes, it can.
Yes, there's an argument called volume handle, I think. Or no, sorry. No, I think that's on the PV. Never mind. I'm not sure.
To see if another PVC would take it. I will say no because maybe the point of putting the current ref was to put the reference there. But yeah, this is now it is in the fail status
Yes,
by
it's
deleting
failed,
the PVC.
but it
And
should
if
be
you
good now. I don't know why it's failed because I forced it to delete the PVC here. It went to the
you
failed
force
state.
it.
Yeah,
Oh, because
I don't know
delete
why.
it was had a finalizer and it wasn't deleting.
I don't know, but it was not there.
Why
It
you
said it was
why you
deleted.
use dash force?
Usually I use it. That's
That's
the
a bad
default which I
thing.
use because sometimes the pods does not go straight forward.
So funny. In production systems, please don't use it.
Pods are ephemeral. They meant to be deleted, right?
Yeah. For force is good to know. Grace period equals 0. It's good to know for type of exams or if you're stuck in something and exam purpose and things like that. Is good to use it. But you yank the PVC claim. And
You need,
if you create it back, is not bound. What does it
yes,
say
it's
for
not. It
the?
said failed.
Do a describe on it to see what happens
Let's see it. Let's do some
Wait,
deep
on the
troubleshooting.
wait,
PV.
you recreated the PV only?
What did I do? What did I deleted the PVC?
Yeah,
I
delete the PVC with
recreated.
the force
What did I
delete.
recreate? What did I recreate? Then I recreated the PVC. Yeah, I deleted. Then I recreated.
Yep.
Ah,
Yep.
okay. I see.
I want to
Yeah,
see what
describe the PV. See what's or describe both. Yeah.
waiting for first consumer to be created. This PVC.
Yeah, it's waiting. So the PV. What's the status of the PV?
Probably
Host.
it's here. Volume field, persistent volume controller, host path, deleter only supports /tmp. Ah, because I think because the PV, it's not under TMP, it's host path,
Yeah, but
and it's
before it worked, no?
what do you mean? It said you cannot if it is host path, you only delete it if it is under TMP.
Oh yeah. So that message is just a warning. I don't think it's a functional thing or
Really?
a problem. It's
Because
just a
it's a
warning.
volume fail delete.
Yeah, but the type is warning, right? The last
Yeah, true.
yeah, it's a warning. It's not. It's working. It's just that the controller, the little controller in this cluster, is saying that if you want to delete things, it only supports that folder because to avoid any like real data loss, right, or something like that.
Okay, so it's just alert.
Oh, so then you
But the
have to have it
status
as
is in,
retain or something.
It does not has retain. We have a policy. We have a policy. Let me see the policy. The policy is delete.
delete, yeah. But it's MNT data.
Yes. That's good to
Yeah,
know.
it's a warning, so it will not be. I don't think it will be deleted. It depends. All these implementations, it depends on the controller, right?
Let's see what happened with the PVC. State is pending. It's not failing. What I don't know. It's showing failing.
For the PVC, yeah, it'll be in pending
But the
because
PV is
the
there.
PV. If you do kubectl edit on the PV, we'll be able to fix it.
Let's see. Not all the fields are being you can change, but which one we need to change, for example? You see there is a
I'm just
finalizer,
looking.
probably this one. This one.
Yeah, this is interesting. I would
Yeah.
not know. The claim ref points to the claim.
Maybe you could remove the finalizer. I think. Yeah, comment
yeah,
out probably. Comment out then.
no, the finalizer is there to when
Yeah,
you delete
prevent
it.
things unclean. Yeah. So I don't know what would be the. It says face equals
Face
delete.
field.
I think it's because the dash force. I'm
Yeah,
guessing.
I
It would
also
be
assume
correct.
that. What is under MNT, by the way, now?
It's mounting the path.
It should be nothing, right?
Yeah, that's nothing.
You don't have access. Like if you want to see it, it's like sudo, but
I think we are sudo here. We can. It's like
Yeah.
sudo,
Mm.
but it's interesting.
yeah, yeah.
There is nothing. Okay.
Yeah, but if this happens in the exam, right? Like let's show how people can get out of this trouble. So just delete the PV and the PVC
Delete
and
both. I
recreate
would
them
delete
back.
both. Huh?
Yeah, delete both.
Yeah,
Yeah, delete both, and show people what do they need to do.
PV. I would delete the PV, which is PV
Yeah.
volume.
And see if that works or it gets hung or something.
Okay.
It
Then we
worked.
delete the PVC.
So don't have to mess. So in case it doesn't work, then you have to like remove the finalizer, right? And then that delete it.
Let's get now. It should be empty now. The
Yes.
space. Perfect.
Yeah.
Then we can apply the PV first.
Dash F.
Yeah, and you can apply the PVC first. In this scenario, nothing, unless you wanted to. Yeah, you want to claim you create the PV first.
Let's do the PV first. It should be now in ready state or something.
Mhm.
Available.
Available. Okay.
Yeah. So we
With
can
the
try.
claim already there. Interesting, right?
Yeah, we can try if the case was using the force. The issue raises because of the force. Or...
Yeah, it's the fourth. No, that's not, I think it's the fourth.
I think if you even delete it, it might be and take into account that this is host path storage. Is not really like real storage the way storage works, right?
I think so too. It's a local path, so it should be fine.
Yeah, it's local path, so it's sometimes weird how it works. It's different from like the real ones. So create the PV.
Is local path usually what is used in production environment?
The
No,
node.
No.
local path is like for exercises like this, for learning purposes and
What's
things
the
like that.
usual like storage class that is used?
You would so it depends if you run on cloud or you run on your own hardware. So if you run on
okay.
cloud, the cloud provider will give you a storage controller associated with their offering, and they use like in AWS use EBS, other cloud providers use EFS or something like that.
Okay.
If you are on premise in your computers, you can have like different CSI drivers, we call it in Kubernetes. So you can do there's many other Rook FS, Gloucester FS.
Open EBS.
Yeah.
The one I've used is Longhorn.
Longhorn, yeah.
Yeah.
A widely used tool in production, to be honest.
Yeah, that's when you have your own hardware or you want to like run it yourself, right? You can use Longhorn. Well, I think which is Gloucester FS at one time, Rook FS, and then the cloud providers have their own, depending on what type of storage you want. So, for example, I work for AWS, so we have one that is the EBS volumes, and that supports read once, for example, write once, but it doesn't support read write many. But we also have another CSI driver that is based on EFS, and EFS is like NFS. It's an NFS service. So NFS, since it supports read write many, you can have multiple clients sharing the file storage based on directories and files.
Because the bad thing about the EBS driver then is that if it's only on one node, if your pod dies and gets rescheduled on another node, then you're kind of screwed, no?
No, it works. It
Because
works. The volume can be mounted on different hosts.
Yeah.
but
Can be
you need
mounted,
but
but
you
it
need to do
doesn't.
that manually, right?
No. It takes care.
No?
Like the storage, the
Longhorn, for
software takes
example,
care.
mounts it across all the nodes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for me, for my home setup, I have an NFS server that I use to have the controller allocate data from, and the NFS server is external,
Yeah.
not
That's what I
not
like.
not
That's
on
what I
any
like
one
about
particular node.
Yeah, that's what I like about Longhorn. But if you're using EBS and your EBS is attached to one EC2 instance, what happens if your instance like goes down or something happens with the node and your pod dies and then it needs to be rescheduled onto another node? Do you
Yep.
have to manually
Nope.
No.
Nope. You don't have to
like what
manually do anything.
the EBS driver takes care of
Yep.
migrating the EBS
Yeah.
to another
The
node?
controller. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
What you need to be sure. The thing is, like, try not to keep these meetings like vendor specific.
Ah, okay.
um,
Sorry.
but the thing that you have to be aware is that pod needs to be scheduled on the same availability zone. So if you have a Kubernetes clusters that you have nodes in one building and another building,
Mm-hmm.
and the pod gets scheduled in a different availability zone, then that volume sits in the other building, right? It cannot. So
Mm-hmm.
that's only restriction. So you have to configure your software that that pod gets scheduled in another host, another node in the same availability zone, kind of building. I call it like buildings. And then the software will take care of mounting that volume into the host that that pod landed.
Okay, I see.
Yeah, automatically.
Okay, nice. Good
Yeah.
to know.
Or like Jack said, like you use NFS and you can freely move it anywhere. It's just it goes over the network. It doesn't have that restriction.
Mm-hmm.
I need to drop. I think we're top on an hour to be conscious with everyone. But thank you to everyone that joined. So I see some people that returned. I see new faces. Thank you, Victor. Hope you join again.
Thank
Next
you.
week we'll have some hands-on backstage. So if you want to join and do that, you're welcome. And then we'll have Mark to talk us about Kubernetes in the enterprise, focusing more on security. So thank you so much,
Very
everyone.
good. Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great weekend. Bye.
Thank you
Bye.
guys. Have a good weekend. Bye.